this. All right, so when I came to the charts, what I noticed is price actually came from this peak here. I had this order block, right? So price broke that order block, came to retest. When I came to the charts, I think price was somewhere here. So what I realized is this is a fresh peak coming off this order block. So it's a pattern in motion. And I ran a fib from this high, since it's the one which broke this structure, to this low. And I noticed that prices had already reacted on the 61.8. So what I entered was a continuation of this particular retracement. And for now, you can see they've reached the TP1, but our entries were here though. So still a good trade. They could get to TP2. That's also possible. So let me just check the trade on my phone. Let me see how best I can manage it. Okay, let's see. I just want to check how many pips it's in. So it's currently in 20 pips of profit. And I'm actually going to let me see if I can close it. Okay, I'll be happy with these 20 pips on this particular trade. I don't want to hold much because price can also still retrace. Okay, let me just handle this trade quickly. Okay. Okay, I'll actually take the 20 pips on C5, but this was the setup I was seeing. So one other thing I just want to advise, you can see we had baseline bounce confirmation. So as long as the confirmations align with my signature trades, it's always a good idea to actually go in a bit hard. So these are what we call A plus setup. A setup which lines up and gives you a baseline bounce. Baseline bounce based on my trading system is one of the best confirmations if you have a setup. So for me, this was a good trade. The reason I'm scaling out now is because this move started here, not here. We all entered here because that's when the time I came to the chart. So if you look at it, it is actually pushed about from around 58.30 to around almost 58.80. So it's almost 40 plus pips on the original move. That's the reason I'm closing. So if you get confirmations like this, you should actually go a bit hard on the trade so that even when it gets to TP1, you can close your trade and you'll be done for the day. So for the rest of the day, I don't usually, again, this is how I trade. If I get a setup on an asset, I hate continuing to chase the price. Okay, on this particular one, yes, price has got this potential view, but chasing it and continuing to trade, you end up losing what you would have made. That usually happens. So yes, it's still bearish. If you're swinging, you can hold, but based on my trading system, C1000, I'm out. Although this price can potentially set another impulsive move, then give another retracement, then potentially drop again. So if you still want to trade this, just wait for this impulsive move to end, locate the retracement, and look for a potential sell. That's how I would look at it. But personally, I won't continue trading it. Then going to C300. C300, I noticed we eventually got to the fair value gap, which we marked yesterday. Then price actually gave a hanging man candle. We are on the 61.8 retracement of this impulsive move, right? So what I'm looking for is price to push down back to these equal lows, maybe get to this area. Remember 2400, we spoke about it. So price might be going down to that area. That's possible. But at the same time, we just want to pay attention to this level here, because price might actually do this, then push up. So just pay attention to that level. Also pay attention to this order block. If we break the zone, then definitely this price is pushing down. So for now, I do have one position which I'm just managing. If we drop down to the M15, I'll show you how I'm also managing it here. You see, for this particular drop, I'm anticipating price to actually continue pushing down. This is just a smaller time frame analysis. So the peak on this M15 would be here, peak within this move. Then the order block will be this a retest. So my stop loss is just above this order block. It's pretty much tight. And if you're trading C300, just be careful with it, especially if your account is small. Because for every 10 pips, I think you lose $5. And I think the smallest loss size is 0.5, if I'm not mistaken. So for every 10 pip retracement, you'll be on -5. And you should be willing to lose at least 20 to 25 pips on each setup, or at least hold. Give the trade at least 25 dollars worth of space. So that's about 50 pips, if I'm not mistaken. And usually the target has to be 100. If I'm trading C300, I aim for 100 pips. My risk to reward is usually 1:2 on C3, no matter the setup. Usually 1:2. So I risk 50 pips to make 100, which is $25 on the smallest lot size to make 50. So that's usually how I approach it. So for now, I just want to see if they're still going to push down or what's going to happen there. Let's see. Okay, C1. Let me just confirm if I close the trade with my phone. Okay, perfect. So C3, I'm just looking forward for that move. So this is an H4 setup basically. So if this fair value gap holds, we'll see this price drop down. That's my only view for today, and I'll just be managing my trades accordingly. Again, I want to see price come below the 13 just to give me more confluence. Then on H1, we also right on the 13 EMA. So we are on a zone where price might trap a bit, but we still are looking good for possible sells. The worst case scenario, what could happen is maybe price might come, respect the 50, then push up. That's just a possible play which could happen. Because if you're coming from here, intraday, you see this is a bullish delivery of price. They might want to come back, interact with the 800 before selling. That's also possible. So I'll just advise you to just put your stop loss on this one. Monitor it mainly on M15 just to see how these candles are moving. We're looking forward also for a potential baseline bounce for a continuation to the downside. So this whole area is just hot for stop hunts and for a setup to actually formulate to the downside. So we'll see how that plays out. Then going to C500, I was watching it. If you notice, I had marked this peak and this order block. Price came below, but I'm just not happy with how the 50 EMA is looking, the baseline. These dynamic support as moving averages, they are pointing up. So I'm not yet comfortable with selling this at the moment. I might consider selling if we do come break this level. If we give something like this, then I might consider selling it. But for now, the setup is not yet solid. It's still formulating. Even though it looks like price could be working around this zone here, which was broken yesterday, but we'll just keep an eye to see how they actually want to play out. So from the H1 perspective, you might want to run a fib also. Like this. Price is currently in the optimal trade entry area. So like I said, I would love to see price potentially maybe break this low here, maybe come below 38.2 for me to confidently sell it. Because right now I'm not really sure if they actually want to come down or they still want to do another trap move before they come down. However, the bias is still bearish here. We're still bearish. All we need is H1 to show us momentum to the downside. Then we're going to jump into this trade and we are going to hold. Excuse me. So C3 is still playing around. B1 pushing down. My setup will still be valid if this price still comes back above this level. At any point today, if we do come back above this level, I might consider buys as long as we do not break this low. So we might come play around here, but as long as we come back above this zone, I'll still consider my buy on that particular asset. J10 looks like it's either a reversal or a retracement. So let's see when we zoom into H1, sorry, to the daily. We had a doji candlestick here, so it could be a reversal going back to the 13 EMA. So that gives us a bearish bias. H4 has broken a level, which I would love to see get retested. Here we've come back below the zone. Let's see. Looking at H1 now, which is the main chart I love to look at. So I can see price has broken structures, impulsive move. So if they start to retrace, we're going to run a fib, then we're going to catch a retracement point, then we're going to sell. That's my only view which I have now. What I love to see is price start to retrace. So they'll either retrace also into this level or they'll retrace into this level. So that's my only view there for J10. The setup will only make sense after price starts to retrace. Otherwise, now it's just an impulsive move happening and we don't have an entry point. After we run a fib, that's when we're going to have solid points of interest for a sell. This one I'm active on it. That's why I keep coming back to it because I don't want to hold much if this price is not really ready to sell. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll come back to it now. Okay, V2501S looks like still retracing. This is our point of interest from yesterday, and this is also our point of interest. So what we want to see if these zones will actually hold. This red line here and this level here. So I'll just use this red line as my level. If we are to run a fib, price is past my best OTE points. So this one I'll just love to keep an eye. For now, I do not have any solid directional bias because this price could also be in a range. So for now, I don't have anything solid on B2501S. Step looks like it wants to retrace, but my safe entry will be below this order block here. If I'm going to sell it, I want price to come below this order block here, M15. We've got a peak, broken order block, and a retest. Yeah, so I would be happy to see an impulsive move, then wait for a retracement, then consider a sell. If they reject here and continue up, I don't have a setup for that buy. I'm only leaning on a sell for now. So I'll just be stalking on it. So all these setups which I'm doubting, I won't really execute trades on them. Especially after taking that win on C1000, I might not actually trade. B5 we were eyeing this for a possible continuation and eyeing this for a possible continuation. So this held, and seeing that these levels have been broken, price might want to go down or they might want to go up. So I do not have any setup on B5. And actually, B5, I don't think I'll be trading it. All these assets from Step, I usually don't trade these. I only add them just to do analysis if somebody asks. But B5, I'd actually prefer removing them because this actually messes up with my trading plan. Because if I have these assets here, sometimes I'll end up wanting to take a trade. But the main setup or the main asset I'll talk about is V50. This one we spoke about it earlier. You mentioned a sell. So when I come to the chart, the first thing I want to look at is the H1. The H1 sort of is my best time frame to look for a daily trend. So what I noticed off the top is there was a level here and price actually came above, and it looks like they are rejecting that level. We have a 15 EMA, 50 EMA. I can only consider a sell if we come below. Again, price looks like they are rejecting off the 50 level, which means they might still want to continue going up. So now let's do multi-time frame analysis here so that we can get a clear view. So before you sell, let me see where your sell was coming from. I noticed you sent me a chart which had a baseline bounce, or right there, this one on H4. So yes, we have a baseline bounce here, but is the multi-time frame analysis lining up with what the H4 is telling us? That's the only thing you need to ask yourself. Is the higher time frame leaning on a sell bias, seeing that you're seeing a baseline bounce here with almost an extended high? Is the higher time frame in line though with the view? So for now, you see weekly strong bullish move last week. This week might continue being bullish. We do not have any idea, right? Going to the daily, zoom in on the candles. This was last week's push. So price sort of slowed down here, but yesterday it was bullish. And for me, this is not really a reversal pattern. For me to actually say I can consider sells here. I cannot really consider sells until I see a level get broken. Then I'll look for sells. So from the daily, I'm getting a picture of a buy. So from what I'm seeing, I cannot sell until I break this red line which you see here. That's the daily chart. So on the 4 hour, yes, we have a baseline bounce, but the daily or the higher time frames are not lining up with the sell for now. So this price could actually respect the 13 EMA as well and continue pushing up. We also have an H1 support zone there. So in terms of buy of sales, I wouldn't want to sell yet because I don't have any confirmation. In terms of trend, there is no sell trend here. We can agree that we're pushing up. We hit this high here, broken structure, impulsive move, a retracement into an order block. We could have caught a sell here, coming back here, yes. But since price has showed us something else, no structure on these levels has been broken. We can only consider sells after we break this main structure, which is here, which is the red line I put. So if we can get an impulsive move, then we can consider a sell. But from what we're looking at now, I do not have any reason to sell this. Even on M15, you can see there is no clean price action which we can really use on this particular trade. Yes, you might have a peak. Yes, you might have an order block. But if your bias is showing you that we are bullish, it means this will be a failed pattern. So that's all I can say about V50 or volatility 50. Can we get a buy? So you might ask, can we get a buy? I'm not really sure what price wants to do. I'd rather wait to see. Because if you notice again, these candles here, there's so much action going on. You see from here, from yesterday before the day closed, all these H1 candles, they have spikes on both sides, So I wouldn't want to be in this market because you might be correct in a sell, yes, but what if it spikes back up and takes you out? Or we might say, okay, let's buy because we are rejecting it, support. But what if it spikes back down? Because that's has been what's been going on for every 1 hour candle for the past 10 hours or so. So V250 I wouldn't advise you to trade it until you get clear price action. And do not force trades. Do not force trades. If you are looking to trade, do not force trades. Let me see. Let me remove this. Okay, so that's all step. Honestly, not a fan of trading step. I only added it because I requested a friend of mine suggested it, but I won't lie, I'm not really a fan of trading step index, but this is the current setup we have. So we might push down, we could push up. This could play either way. For me to sell, I need price to come below, then I can consider a sell. What else? What else? What else? So C3 is really refusing to give me what I want. I'm not really patient on it today. I'm not patient. I'm not patient. Yes, they might play out, but for now, I'm not happy with how this price is being delivered. The impulsive moves are not too clean. Price keeps giving these retracements. But we might still get a baseline bounce. That's what I'm mainly looking forward to. So I might hold a bit, but if price comes above this high, I'll out of this trade. I'll definitely be out of this trade. Okay, I think that's all for today. C1000 is retracing like we said. B1000 still pushing down like we said. J10 will wait for a retracement. So I don't know. The only setup I might be paying attention to might be C5 for a potential continuation down. I still need more confirmations. C3, this is my range. Looking forward for a baseline bounce for price to at least come to this level here, 2750 at least. Although price can still continue going down, but I'll just be happy if they can play out here. This is what I'll sell. Anything here, I'm not taking. Let's see, is B1 done? Yeah, I'm really done with B1, bro. We already spoke about it, but I'll just touch on it again. When we started the session, I mentioned I'm out of this trade. This is the zone I was looking at, bounce and a continuation. It did not play out. I also mentioned stop loss is to go below the zone which I shared on the Telegram group. So stop loss was hit. I'm out of B1. I'll only consider buys if this low is not broken and if price comes back above our initial entry area. So if they play around here and come back here, then I'll still consider a buy. But if this low is extended, it will be a different setup altogether and it might form during the day. So for now, there's no setup for me here until price comes above here. So that's my view on B1. So I don't have anything too solid. Just watching price, waiting for a potential drop on C3. We are active on C3 and stoking C5. C1 might still give a setup for a sell, can still drop. So I'll maintain my stoking on these three assets, which is, okay, step index, I'll actually remove it from here because it will be tempting me to trade B1. I won't really focus on it for now. So I'm mainly paying attention to C5. I need them to come below the 13 EMA. I'm also in the trade on C3, waiting for a baseline bounce on M15. But if you see M5 is showing signs of actually selling. So this, if we can have one position here, that's fine. We'll see how it plays out. Then last but not least is C1. C1 will just be a continuation. But like I said, I already took a winning trade on C. one, so I might not take any other trade. So for now, it's only C3 which I'm active in. The rest I'll keep stalking. I'll only trade if the setup is worth it. That is on C1 and on C5. And if C3 hits stop loss, then I will be done for the day. That will be a stop loss on B1, stop loss on C3, and a win on C1000. And I'll be done for today. That's already for me, that's enough trades for the day. Mainly, I go for 2 executions in a day. If the first one is a good profit, I'm done. I don't really like to trade much. So I think that's it for today. If there's questions, now is the time for questions. If there is no questions, that's fine. We'll still link up on Telegram. But for now, for today, just remember the best trade is no trade. If there's no setup, do not force it. Rather protect your capital so that you can come the next day, look for fresh setups and catch some pips. So that's it for me today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading.